Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Brian, and in today's video we're going to be making some comparisons between a budget-minded sander from Harbor Freight and what some might consider a top-of-the-line sander, or the Festool ETS EC 125 sander. Let's first take a look at our budget-minded sander called Bauer, which is a Harbor Freight product. And let's take a look at this sander. I should also note that there is a model that is a 5-inch random orbital sander. This is a orbital sander that we're taking a look at today, still in our budget-minded price bracket. So this is about $25. The random orbital one, which is the same size as the Festool sander we're going to talk about, that one's about $40 in 2025. So we're interested in random orbital sanders because these are a type of sander that provides an erratic type of motion of the sandpaper that doesn't leave behind swirl marks in our workpieces. So let's look at our Bauer sander and look at its features. So some of the features are, it has a long plug-in, I believe it's 6 feet long, and it also comes with this dust collection unit that pushes on to the back side of here, just fits in with a rubber gasket. In addition, we use sandpaper for this unit that's just regular sandpaper, a quarter of sheet, and then to perforate the sandpaper to get holes in it for dust extraction, we use this. And this perforates it, and you can see the level of perforation that we get. It's okay. There's a little bit of a hole there, and the real question is, how well does that work? So let's take a look at this Bauer sander and see how well it works. So right away you see that our dust collection fell off. So the other thing I want to point you to is that, look at this dust right here. None of this was collected by our supposed dust collection system. And even if that dust was picked up by our dust collection system, it wouldn't have mattered because this back end piece that's supposed to house all the dust fell off almost immediately. So let's move on to our Festool sander. This Festool sander comes in a sustainer, a little plastic box. You open this up and there's several things inside. So we have our sander. This is a sander that I've in fact had for 7 years. So it's been around for a long time. Inside our sustainer, there's a cord to connect it electrically to a dust extraction unit. And there's also an Allen wrench. You might wonder what the Allen wrench is for, and so I'll show you. The Allen wrench allows us to change our sanding pad. So all you have to do is hold your sanding pad still, insert this, and then rotate this. And this will allow you to take off your sanding pad and replace it. Over the course of 7 years and building lots of furniture, I've only actually had to replace this sanding pad once. If you use your sander more than I do, you might have to do that more frequently, but these are available if you ever need to replace them. And to put this back on, all we need to do is put our pad back on the face of our sander and put the screw back in. There are several types of sandpaper that can be used with this sander. For woodworking, one of my favorites is this granite type sandpaper. This works really well and lasts pretty long. I feel like it lasts longer than some of the other sandpapers that I've tried out. When using this, your goal is to simply line up the holes, the sandpaper to the holes on the sanding pad, and you put that on. All that holds that sandpaper on is Velcro. And sometimes you'll need to replace the pad just because the Velcro gets worn down. Another thing to note is that Festool makes different types of sanding pads. They make these in different types of compliance or different stiffnesses so that they can conform to the shape of a surface if it's very soft, or it can be stiffer for flat surfaces. Another thing you should note is that you can change the speed of the sander. So you can increase the rate of material removal by simply increasing this to a higher number. To use this sander, you need to connect two things. The first one is power. So we connect power into the back, and you will see that this is a special plug-in that works for the Festool tools. And you also want to collect the dust, so you connect your dust extractor with this hose by simply sliding it over the port that's here in the back. One of the nice features of the Festool sanders is that as soon as you start the sander by pushing the screen button, it also starts the dust extractor automatically. There's also Bluetooth type batteries that can be used for a portable sander that connects with a dust extractor that is also Bluetooth. So here we'll start it. You will hear in the background the dust extractor starting. Some of the other features to mention is that this has a brushless motor which is supposed to last a very long time. In addition, the handle is supposed to be ergonomic and it feels ergonomic, and there's a counterbalance to try to minimize the transmission of vibration into your hand. Another thing to talk about is warranty. So the Bauer comes with a 90-day warranty, whereas the Festool comes with a 3-year warranty. If you wanted, for the Bauer, you could pay an additional fee, which is almost the cost of the sander itself, and get it up to a 2-year warranty. With our pencil line test, there's hardly any noticeable dust left behind with the Festool sander, but there's a noticeable amount of dust left behind with the Bauer one, and as you saw, this end piece came off again. While it's clear that this Bauer sander is a disappointment because the dust collection falls off, there's also lots of sanders that are very similar to this on the market for under $100. Their dust collection piece does not necessarily fall off, but it won't extract very much dust because there's no suction that's being drawn in. There's no dust extractor. So in the end, it's up to you. If you're going to be around a lot of sanding over time, then there's a clear choice. You would want that sawdust to not be in the air and to be taken out as much as possible with the dust extractor. If you're going to be around a lot of sanding dust, I would also recommend that you get an air filtration system to filter the air of small dust particles over time, and you should also wear a respirator. So in the end of the day, it's just a sander. If this is a disposable item for you and you're going to use this on a project, it's going to get damaged and it's going to get thrown away, or it's a short-term purchase, maybe the Bauer would be a suitable sander for some. But for me, since I do enough woodworking, I would never buy the Bauer sander, and I would go for something more suitable to my needs, and that's the Festool dust extractor combined with the Festool sanders, I think, are a great product. They are what got me to start looking closer at Festool tools in general. Thank you for watching today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in a future video real soon.